Yo, what is going on, guys? S3E27 Gaming back once again in GTNH, now episode 27, and today we're starting off over in the Witchery area because we're going to make some potions. And I had to relearn how to do this because I completely forgot. The documentation on it is pretty sparse, but I figured it out through reading the book and looking at the Shadow of X and Threefold's spreadsheet. So it's a little bit complicated how this works, but there's different steps in the potion brewing process that allow you to customize these like a ton. And there's even like a leveling system apparently, but like there wasn't enough info on that I really wanted to do it. It's the cost is not that bad to create these potions. But yeah, basically, whereas each effect has a level, the shipping season is level 8. So you need to get 8 like power, or I guess like what do they call it? Like capacity. And each of these is worth 2 capacities. So Netherwort, Tear of the Goddess, Diamond Vapor, and Diamond. Okay, that's easy enough. We got the 8 power because it's 8 level, or 8 capacity, my bad. Power is a different thing. So power is you add this before your effect and it increases the power of the effect. We're going to add a blaze rod. I don't know if you also need a glowstone for this, but we're going to do a blaze rod. And that should increase the radius of a potion. And then next up is the actual effect itself in our case. Sometimes there's other things you want to do. For me, it's just the effect and the dispersion. So you add this after your power or duration boosts, and then you add your dispersion, which is either a gunpowder. I guess you could also use water artichoke for this, but that makes it a splash potion. These other ones are weird. I'm not going to worry about them. So let's do this and hopefully not mess it up. So you got to dump these in order into the Witch's Cauldron. Alright, hopefully it's happy with that. It seems like it's cooking. I don't remember how to do this. This is so crazy. Because I did a ton of these potions before. I mean, I guess it looks okay. Yeah, it worked. Nice. And it is shipping seasons 2. And this is the biome Toxic Everglades. If you've never heard of that, you're going to see me do something crazy because I have some shenanigans planned with this. And it's been going around in the Discord, the strategy that I'm going to be using. But I think it's kind of game-breaking, to be honest. Let's go take a look at it. First off, let's see how big the radius is. Okay, it's at least 3 by 3. So there is a radius of which mobs can spawn around a player. With that being a 3 by 3, it is now night. Enemies can spawn there. We're going to hope something is going to spawn there. And I'm going to wait until it does, basically. Okay, it's starting to work. I don't know what these things are. Not what I wanted, that's for sure. Grab one of them, I guess. And we'll keep doing it. So I kept building more platforms, basically, and I'm just flying up and then flying back down to see what spawned. Oh, I got one. Look. I kept building the tower up to have more and more spots to potentially spawn one, and I finally got one. So this is a Staballoy construct. And yeah, this method to get him was pretty good. I just kept building a tower, and then you kind of just abuse the way that mobs spawn a little bit, and then you're good. So yeah, now we're good. Let's take a look what this guy can do for me. So, in NEEC, an Extreme Entity Crusher, this guy will spawn 100% chance 4 Staballoy ingots. Sometimes you get a plate. 100% block of Staballoy. That's pretty much it. So that is, what is that, 13 Staballoy ingots guaranteed. Sometimes 14. Looting may affect it. So what is Staballoy? 9 uranium, 1 titanium. That is infinite uranium for basically no cost. Very light power cost. So what shall we do with that uranium, you may be thinking? We're going to make a shit ton of uranium fuel rods. That's what we're going to do with it. And this is going to be your new completely passive AFK power generation that we don't got to worry about at all. Let's go set it up. If you don't know how to set this up, it's pretty easy to. You get your soul binder, get your broken spawner, add your XP, and then you're going. So even with the octadic capacitor, it takes quite a while to do this, which is unfortunate. But while it goes, I guess I'll do something else. And here we go, Staballoy construct powered spawner. Let's put this where it needs to go, which is right here. And then the best weapon is the spike that you have left over from making those 9 spikes. So I enchanted the hell out of this thing, and this will speed up quite a bit once the spike kicks in. 27 is kind of slow. And you can over-enchant this stuff. I don't know how much effectiveness it's going to provide additionally, but I'm interested in that. So we'll take a look. But I mean, even with a slow recipe, this is still nuts. And also this has perfect overclock, so as I like level up and get higher tiered stuff, it's going to be even faster, which is like absurd. Okay, so we're going to connect this with a conduit and dump it into the AE system. So we're running into problems right now. Before we can continue, the nuclear reactor needs an 8x platinum cable. I'm out of platinum and I want to do it the right way, so I need to make a little plat line. We'll do it like the minimum voltage right now, just upgrade the energy hatches like in a very short period of time. So the other thing I need to do is a little bit of ore processing. Some of this stuff's cheaper than I thought it was, like this red steel ingot. It's not that bad actually. So we're gonna start making this. I need a thermal centrifuge multi-block because to process my monazite down, it's gonna give me rare earth. From the rare earth, I can bath this with sulfuric acid and I get crushed rare earth, which I can crush again, and then I'll get yttrium as a chance output out of this. I could also dehydrate this for yttrium, so I guess I'll do that as well. But I want yttrium because this IV tier glass is crazy expensive. So there's 3 options. There's ALF glass. I can't really do that right now. I need an IV laser engraver. I could maybe do that, but like it's gonna be difficult. The other problem is tungsten steel reinforced. That's 8 ingots of tungsten steel to get to this. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. So the only other option is thorium yttrium, and this is reasonable. As long as you have access to yttrium, this is reasonable. So we're gonna do that. And now we're cooking. Or I guess we're thermal refining, if you will. Yeah, this thing is great. It does a lot of really specialty, I guess, byproducts on it. And we'll probably use it quite a bit, honestly. So yeah, it's good to have. Pretty soon we're gonna have like an automated setup for this, but at the moment we're not doing that. We're not able to afford that. So we'll just keep moving stuff back and forth for the time being. But yeah, again, the purpose here is for the rare earth, and hopefully we're gonna get some of that. And here we go, the EV dehydrator. I've never made this thing before, but we're just gonna plop it down in the EV machine line, and I guess we're just gonna use it and send it into the ME system. Like, sure, I guess. And the IV glass comes rolling in. I had to add an extra input hatch to my blast furnace because this liquid is whack. But, you know, it's okay, it happens. I needed a molten glass hatch, so it is what it is. And as that's going to produce me like half a stack of it, I think, we should be good for a little while. So now, let me take a look at how to make this guy. What are these casings? Staballoy? Love to hear that. And zirconium carbide. I prepared for this. Can you believe that? I got a ton of zirconium carbide already made, and I have a ton of zirconium as well. So we're good for like a while on all of this. I think I'm going to get 2 of these right now while I'm at it. I guess I should program the recipes, but I'm like so starved of recipe slots right now. I really need this this platinum to be online. But we could undo some recipes and make them back later to get us across the finish line, because I really just need this stuff to work, and then I'll fix everything in a moment. Okay, I programmed everything for graphene. That's kind of just how easy things are with the universal automation. You just program it, and then you're good. I added a new drive, so I have a drive with 4 now. And then I upgraded the cells to 16K, so we're a little bit richer now. Not to the point where we want to upgrade all of them yet, but we're getting there. And then I'm forgetting something. I want to throw these in the wire mill. And then we're well on our way to the IV motors. Some crafting later. I'm almost finished with a whole bunch of multis. I have my forming press and my bending machine here. Just got to run some AE2 stuff over to here. I'm completely out of AE2 wires, so I'm waiting on those to finish, and then I can do that. We're gonna be setting up a mixer as well, and then I want to build a lathe. So we're running out of room in this temporary area, but the good news is my wrench breaks things very quickly, so I'll be able to move it to the more permanent spot really easily, which that'll be fun. I have to decide on exactly how I'm going to organize everything, because the way that this panned out is not that great, in my opinion. I mean, like, it works, but not ideal. Like, pretty much all this is redundant now. This does not need to exist anymore. That's my mess to clean up. You guys will just see the finished product one day. So I'm going to continue making multi-blocks, and I will see you then. Oh yeah, I turned on these 2 top combustion engines as well. We're able to draw 8 amps of EV from our setup. Actually, says it's at 9 sometimes, which is concerning for this cable. But because we're able to draw 8, these only make 6 altogether. So together, these are going to make 12, and then we're able to keep up with our power needs. But pretty soon, that's all going to get destroyed anyways, because we're going to be blowing it out of the water in just a moment. But I got to get some infrastructure upgrades first, and then we can start doing that. Which is the purpose of me going to the multi-blocks, which is probably long overdue anyways. If you don't know, the best part about these is that individually inside of each hatch, you could set the circuit. So now I'm going to set circuit 9s, and when I'm making my nuclear reactors, like, en masse, my dense plates will be way faster and automated, because I'm not building another HV bender. You're going to be... You must think I'm crazy thinking I'm going to build more of these benders that are terrible. And then I could also make all, like, the off circuits that aren't used very often, like 2s, 3s, stuff like that. And it's going to feel really good. And then I could also make more 1s. And the input buses and interfaces are pretty cheap compared to the pattern expansion cards for me at the moment. So that's going to be the real savior. And then I'll just fix it later when I get the pattern expansion cards. So yeah, now it's time to start cleaning house and patterns and stuff. Okay, I set up all the machines that I want. I ran into a roadblock with this nitration mixture recipe. It's in the multi-block mixer, and it has a circuit 1, but, like, the other hatches have circuit 1 on them, like this one does. Is that going to make it happy? Because, I mean, the input hatch doesn't have a circuit in there. But we're just going to see if that works next time I request TNT. So these turned out pretty good. These bending machines work great. I already tested them out. Bottlenecks are solved, and this lathe is new. The main purpose of this thing is for Certus quartz rods, and the reason that this takes so long is because it's just a very long recipe. But I need a ton of these, and let me show you why. You probably know why, but in the wire mill, this is what's making your quartz fiber. And I think this is, like, the best recipe. Like, charged Certus quartz is an option, but to make this, you need, let's just take a look. Yeah, you need redstone for it, which, I mean, I have a lot of, but no, I don't actually. I'm, like, out of it. I can get more of it with my farms, but I just haven't had them running because it takes power. Which should be solved pretty soon, actually. There's just so many things going on all the time. Okay, now that I've solved some significant bottlenecks, what do I want to do next? I could stop putting off the power restructuring. Let's see. Okay, so next thing we're going to do actually is platinum line stuff. And by platinum line, I mean I'm going to program it all into my main net, and I'm going to request platinum out of this for the time being. Eventually, we can do a level maintained plat line, or the ME, what's it called? Is that what's called? ME level maintainer. Yeah, we're going to use this thing eventually, but at the moment, we're not going to do that because I don't have the capability to do so with my current crafting and power capacity. But however, we shall be able to request what we want. So I've already reworked some of my recipes in my LCR. For example, my nitric acid. This needs to be able to be made out of nitrogen dioxide because we get a ton of this back out of the plat line, and we could totally recycle all the nitric acid. So I will store the byproduct, and it'll be reused for the next run. That's the plan for that. Next up, I've programmed all the plat line recipes already. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to deal with things like palladium-enriched ammonia right now. I guess we're just going to stockpile them, and I'll deal with it when I get there. Which, I guess that seems like a good idea. An important thing I just remembered, on my mixer, I didn't have my interface set to blocking mode. So you got to click this once. So it's either ignore the contents of target inventory, that's the default, or do not push crafting items if the inventory contains items. This is what you want on. Otherwise, it might mix up your dusts and cause you big problems where you're making something that you're not expecting to. Because if you just mix them all together, you have no idea what's going to come out. Okay, so now I'm almost done with all this stuff. Well, I'm making one more multi-block, which is the sifter. And then I think I can set my plat line to go. And I have to babysit it for a little bit, but I can set it to go, I believe. I'm finally running low on titanium after that huge titanium batch craft that I did. But the good news is now I have infinite titanium because of my Staballoy. I just need to macerate this, centrifuge this, and then start smelting, which is very, very soon. I just need to fix my power. Okay, I'm working out the problems with this system, and I think everything's good now. So I could just ask it to create me like 8 platinum right now. Or I don't have that much platinum dust in there right now. Let's say 6 platinum. Okay, whatever, it's fine. We'll do 4 platinum. I don't have a source of PMP right now, but it's going to go through the motions and it creates it. The main bottleneck is the ammonia whenever it needs it. I'm making this in pretty large batches, so once I make it for one, it lasts quite a while. But I mean, this problem is solvable if I just start layering more and more LCRs on this system. So I'm going to make a little bundle where it's going to give me all the stuff that I need to duplicate this setup in a single chest. And we're going to start adding one and one and one and just keep going on until I'm happy. And I don't know where that's going to be, but we're going to keep doing it. Because this system is insane. It is so good. And we're going to keep on expanding it. And I think this is the way to go for me. It's a little bit of a downside that it uses a crafting storage and it's using my infrastructure for other things as well. But when I'm less broke, we can separate things out and make things better. So that's kind of the plan right now. I really just need platinum in any capacity. And this is better than what I had before, which was smelting nuggets. So I think we're in a good spot. Since I have a lot of platinum now, let's go ahead and make our advanced nano chest plate. And there we go. This is going to be an armor upgrade for us. This has hazmat protection. My old jetpack did not. So I was often accidentally giving myself radiation. And we're looking good. We're wearing a full outfit now. It's been a while since I've been able to record. I've been doing a lot of research and working on different designs and stuff. And I've come to this now. We have a new area of the base down here. It's not finished yet, but I'm working on a nuclear reactor setup. This is created by Kitcholol. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but they're on the GTNH Discord, and they had like a thread where they had done a Steve's Factory Manager nuclear reactor setup. And as far as I can tell, it's been recommended by a couple people to me. And it doesn't explode. The other ones I was looking at were complicated, way more complicated than this, and they exploded. So, like, why go for that? So, basically, what we have here is like a big warded cube. And inside of this is my nuclear reactor. I have advanced cable clusters with cable camouflage in them. I'm not sure why I need the cable camouflage exactly, but I'm just going to follow the guide. But this is for future-proofing, because right now we're going to be using uranium in here, which it's not set up yet, but it will be soon. But later on, I'm going to use MOX and raise these to high temperatures, and we're going to get a lot more power out of it. So for the time being, we are using a 4x TPV alloy cable, and that is 24 amperage of EV. This is going to create about 21 amps of EV power, I believe. And the way that the nuclear reactors work is they actually round down from like the power production they're making. So this one is like 43,000. So if I use like, let's say HSSG, it's an LUV cable, I'll only make 1 amp of LUV because it's going to round down. So you use EV to get a better ratio of like so you don't lose as much power. And then I just transform it up, and then we have the HSSG cables transporting this to where it needs to go. And I do that because when you're having cable loss on 32,000 EU, it's not that bad. And also, this will last quite a while for me. I can layer this a couple times over and still use cables. I think I can do like a 4x or 5x parallel. I didn't do the math, but we can keep going. If I like this design, we'll keep layering it over and over. So basically what we have here is 4 different chests. They're just different chests so that they're easier to locate in the SFM. Which I guess we take a look at this real quick in the Machine Inventory Manager. So there is a big document that this person made, Kitcholol that is, where it runs you through every single variable in like a very nice like flow sheet sort of way. But the main idea is that I have various different safety overrides and safety checks. So like I'm checking, do I have enough coolant in the coolant chest? Yes. Okay, let's continue. No. Then we disable the reactor. The safety override on high pulse while high signal, low pulse. So low pulse means means this guy's gonna be off, and this is the receiver right here. So this will be my RS latch from my power, which I think we're gonna make a Laplatronic supercapacitor pretty soon. But that's beside the point. But this is gonna be the RS latch coming from my power setup. Probably just gonna be a wireless connector, and then this is just a manual override to turn the reactor on or off if you want to ignore your power and just want to troubleshoot. But yeah, this is going to read here, and that's like the main thing that tells us to start or stop. Other reasons this could stop is if I'm out of coolant, if I'm out of fuel. I don't have a heat detector in this, but that's kind of also to future-proof this, because the MOX setup will be at max heat, literally 99%. If I think you can do 99% with this. Look at that, I missed some mortared blocks. I didn't even notice that. I gotta double check I got them all. But yeah, anyways, this is trying to be foolproof, and it seems like this program's pretty good. Nobody was complaining that it explodes, so I'm going to try it out, and if it explodes, then I'm going to be sad. Oh yeah, this is a pretty cool thing. We're using the transfector interface to transport items to the reactor. It just sort of is one less wire, or like the thing you got to run through the glass window. But it's alright how it is anyways. I kind of have a... What do you call it? I have like a little tube here. I didn't use the glass for it, but it's like a tube that goes up and around, and then hopefully if the explosion goes off, it won't leak through this, because this is all warded over here, and it's completely contained on here. So if you just do like a little L tube like that, I guess it's like an S, it shouldn't leak through. And I've done this before, and I did something like that and it worked, but I didn't blow it up to test if it works or not. This concerns me that I have this straight chute here, but well, I guess we'll see what happens if it blows up one day. Maybe when I build the next parallel, maybe I'll make it safer even. I'm not sure. So I'm not ready to turn this on yet. We gotta make a coolant loop. I am mining some aluminum right now because I actually exhausted my aluminum just by making these massive cables that are going everywhere that are made out of aluminum. And that's a thing in the past now, thankfully, so we can probably get that aluminum back afterwards. Not that it really matters, but you know. I gotta identify a passive aluminum source. But anyways, we're gonna make probably 2 vacuum freezers. And then my coolant is actually crafting right now. It should be done. I'm making the 60Ks. 60K helium. Yeah, here they are. I can go put these in the chest downstairs where they belong. But yeah, it's looking good. I don't know, actually. I know you're supposed to manually set it up. I wonder if it will mess this up if I do this now, but we'll see. If it starts sending coolant to the reactor, it's not a bad thing right now. Alright, so I guess I'll continue setting stuff up. One thing I want to do is move down a bunch of vacuum freezers, thermal centrifuge, and then I guess that's it. Mainly the vacuum reactors have to get down there, and I don't need like a huge setup right now. I could probably cool this with like in 1 EV reactor or 1 EV freezer. I'm gonna make 2 of them. I'm running them at EV for the moment, and then when I have IV hatches, we can upgrade them. Yeah, I'd rather just do that now as I parallel it a little bit. And then hopefully by the time I parallel this times like 8 or something, maybe 16, we'll upgrade to something better. Which, I mean, this is going to be really, really good. But I don't want to just rely on only nukes forever, because I want to do some other cool stuff with more power gen options, just so I could learn them, you know? So that's the plan. So I can't quite finish what I want to do today, and I want to get this episode done. So we're going to continue this next time. But I'm working on some extra crafts right now. So I'm making fiber-reinforced epoxid sheets. And these are made in a chem bath with either raw carbon or glass fiber. The raw carbon is much easier to make. So, I mean, we have pretty much all this stuff already on automated. So we're going to do this in that way with the raw carbon for now. Maybe the glass fiber is way cheaper, but like the boron is a little bit annoying to source right now. So is the glass dust. Like, it's not hard. It's just like I don't have flint in a supply. Like it's extra steps I don't want to do right now. So we're gonna do the carbon because it just seems better to me. And then yeah, I'm working on my Laplatronic supercapacitor. Let's take a look at the problems here. This needs about 50 casings, and we're low on tungsten steel. And then the other problem is that these uranium fuel rods take forever to craft because this needs to compress like 1,000 things, and I just have this like one dinky single block compressor somewhere over here. I think it's actually HV as well. Yeah, here it is. That guy's putting in overtime, to say the least. So that's not going to happen very quickly at the moment. And then the multi-block for the compressor is crazy. So this also needs a whole bunch of titanium, steel, and ink alloy. So I was not prepared to pronounce that one. I was thinking that was like ink alloy, but it was not. Ink alloy. But we can do this. It's just like a matter of programming the ink alloy. And then this dust is actually a little bit annoying at the moment because it needs a lot of molybdenum and titanium. Cobalt's okay, but I mean, at least you get a lot of it out of the dust. I really need an alloy blast smelter as well, because you can see that most of these, this one's actually pretty quick in the blast furnace, so it's quick in the EBF, but a lot of these need to be put in the alloy blast smelter. I guess this one really isn't. Yeah, regardless, I'm gonna let some stuff craft overnight, and I'm pretty much finished with this. I gotta connect this to power, which I'm not completely done with yet. This is all connected. This is all done. I've connected my coolant output. So I have a blue channel and a red channel. The red channel is for hot. The hot's going to this vacuum freezer. This needs power as well. I'll finish that later, I guess. And then the output bus is in the blue channel. The blue stuff comes back to the cooled cells. And then from there, these get sent to where they gotta go. We have to manually configure the reactor for the first time, and we're not ready to do that yet. Yeah, my AE2 will be taking the fuel rods I want in here. They'll put them in here, and then the storage bus will see them. I have a new toy here. This is a level maintainer. And this guy is basically going to be able to request the different things that I want. So I wanted to maintain 40 fuel rods, so it will do that. I will always have 40 in this chest. But right now, they're like absurdly slow to craft. And this is idling, but that's not true. It didn't actually reach the 40, but I guess I might have manually started that craft, so it messed it up, but I have to play with this to make sure it's working right. But yeah, next time we should have this done. And then with upgraded power, we could do so much more stuff, and it's going to be really good. And then we're going to redo our power lines, and then we can go into IV for real this time. We'll start filling this room with multis as well. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time, and have a good day.